All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today is actually going to be a special event. We're going to be highlighting a country, so to speak, well, one country, but many countries within the Europe community. And what they are doing right now is they're expanding huge over there. And what we're doing in the company that we work with, and we really want to share some stories from some people over there and what they've been able to accomplish and with their health and with their business, so to speak. And so I really want to highlight that today, so make it a little bit special. And I'll just share a little bit about my story, because a lot of the stuff that we've been sharing so far on these Wellness Wednesdays have been mostly based out of the US and Canada, from a company called Purium. And I just want to highlight my story and a couple of the differences before we jump into that. So for me, I feel like I started as a standard, typical, basic American. So I can really speak to what it's like to live the standard American lifestyle and then transition and switch into a lifestyle that is, so to speak, better, right? Or more clean and better for you, right? And I think that that's important because sometimes people think that a lot of people that make these healthy choices of just, oh, you were born that way, oh, you're born into your family, oh, you've been doing that forever, you know what I mean? And there are absolutely some people like that, but for me, it didn't start until I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease at 25. And that was the first time in my life that I was really sick. And I was really kind of surprised. I was like, how can I be so young? I was so healthy not that long ago. Like, I felt like so healthy. I was a pretty good athlete in high school, and it was something that I was just so blown away, when I was really impacted with an autoimmune disease, because the autoimmune disease that I had was impacting my spine, causing extreme pain, extreme tightness, extreme stiffness in my spine that was causing me to wake up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain, as if I was like hit by a car or something like that. Like I was in an accident, or I threw out my back. I had like a slip disc or something, but it would only happen at night. And it turned out, when I went to the hospital, that I had this autoimmune disease that supposedly happens in men sometimes, during this age, women too, but usually in their early 20s is when it can develop, or mid 20s. And that's what happened to me. And the medication was $4,000 a month for the medication. So I could not afford that. It was absolutely like ridiculous to cost that much. And they said I was going to be on that medication for the rest of my life. So then the other thing is, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like I have this disease that's like can't even be cured. Like there's nothing that could be done. And I have to have it for my whole life. And I have to take medication that's crazy expensive. Like what? Like it's like your world turns upside down. You go from one day feeling like whatever, fine, average, whatever that you feel, and you go to like this moment and you're like, what the heck? Like for me, it was kind of crazy. And I'm like, because there was no other alternative and no other option, I basically suffered for the next 4 years. It got worse, and my spine got more tight. And if untreated, it can start to fuse together, which I think there's still some lasting damage from that. And so it actually, what happened was later on, I decided that I wanted to, take a deeper dive into my health and wellness and become a little bit better. And the only thing I knew was going to the hospital and getting that medication. I had better insurance. I went back, and what happened was I started taking the medication. It was affordable. My insurance covered it, so that was, I guess, reasonable, right? And the medication, the purpose of it was to weaken my immune system. Anyone that has an autoimmune disease, they take oftentimes medication that kind of suppresses the immune system, so to speak, because what they tell you is that your immune system is attacking a part of your body. And so that needs to be addressed and suppressed. So that's what happened. And because that happened, it led me to get the flu. I got the flu so bad that I was sick in bed for like 3 weeks straight. I couldn't speak. My voice was completely gone. I couldn't talk. I couldn't work. I couldn't even tell people what was wrong with me. My voice was just like, nothing was coming out. I even thought like I'll never get my voice back. I thought like I even contemplated like, is this it? Am I going to die at 29 years old because of the flu, because of this medication? I stopped taking that right away. And someone at the time, while I was super sick in bed, recommended me to watch the documentary, What the Health? And that was the first time in my life that I learned that diet and diseases are even related. The documentary talked about the relation between the foods that we eat and the diseases that we have. And that was the first time that I learned that. So I decided in that moment, I'm going to try it and I'm going to go plant-based, right? I wasn't like, I'm going vegan or anything like that. I was like, I'm going plant-based. I'm going to give it a shot. Within a week, I felt better. I wasn't sick. Within several months, I had lost 50 pounds. My skin started clearing up. I felt so much better. The pain in my back was better. And so I was super inspired. I was like, holy crap, like there's something here. Like this is really powerful. I had a profound experience. 6 months later, I wanted to start sharing to people. I started going really heavy on Instagram. I started my YouTube. I created a podcast where I was interviewing people and sharing their stories. And I really wanted to make an impact and make a difference. And I was like, if this could help me, this could help others, right? But I interviewed someone that had reversed their autoimmune disease. And it was the first time I met someone in my life that had reversed their autoimmune disease. They had a Hashimoto's, which is of the thyroid, autoimmune disease of the thyroid. And I was really blown away with how they did it. I decided to, I interviewed them on the podcast and I was like, I'm going to take their advice. I tried everything that they recommended and I gave up within a week. And I think the biggest reason why, it was super expensive doing all the juicing. It was super time consuming. I was working 70 hours a week at my job. I was like, there's no way that I have time to do all of this food prep, all of this cutting and slicing and washing and cleaning and shopping and preparing and mixing, and it didn't taste good. And I just gave up, right? It was not easy, but I believed in the power of the foods and foods like that. And I believed in the healing power of foods because I already had a good effect. So I knew that it was possible. I was like, I know I can do this. Like I still had the belief that it was possible. And I think that's very important. I think when someone is kind of suffering like from something that's really challenging, or someone said you'll never be able to cure from, the most important thing is belief. I have that so strong now that I say, when someone says like something's going to happen to me, I'm like, nope, not me. That's not happening to me. I'm going to prevent it at all costs. It's just like a mindset that I have now. But what happened was, I was introduced to these superfoods in the US called Purium. And the difference between these is they focused on soil health and regenerative soil. So it means that all the nutrients that are supposed to be in the plants are in the plants. They're at 100% capacity, so to speak, versus some of the plants that we might be eating at like 40%, 30% of the capacity, and the soil is depleting very, very fast. So they focus on regenerative soil. That's very, very key. The other big factor was the gut health. And that's something that I really needed for an autoimmune disease issue. Really, a lot of issues start in the gut, to be honest. Almost every single issue starts in the gut. But the gut part and the gut health, it was able to remove the glyphosate from my body and able to repair the holes in my gut. The leaky gut, most people have leaky gut. Our gut lining is very, very thin. If you're eating bad for a while, you probably have leaky gut. It's just a thing that probably most people have, and that can lead to autoimmune diseases. And so healing that up, I had one, high quality nutrients, for the first time and maybe forever. Second, I had proper absorption, which is the most important thing, was being able to absorb the food. There's so many people that I see, they're like, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating great, I'm doing well. I don't understand. Why am I not feeling good? Well, the question is, are you absorbing the food? That's the biggest question. And most people are not absorbing their food effectively. So that's the biggest thing. And so that led me to really dive in heavy. I was able to reverse my symptoms of my autoimmune disease. And now I help other people around the world, including the UK, as well. And we're going to be able to get a chance to hear from some of those people. And so one of the people that I introduced, I'm going to introduce right now, to share her story. And also, well, let me really quick actually just share just small differences on like between Purium and Platinum. Okay, so you're going to hear like these different companies or whatever, right? And the biggest difference is one, location. Okay, the farm that most of the foods are grown in Purium are in California, the majority of the farms, right? The majority of the farms that are grown in Platinum are grown in Austria, the majority of the farms, right? And so the location is very important, because if you have farms that are really far from the location, well, that cancels out all the eco-friendly things that you're trying to do. This is a very eco-friendly, eco-first country, conscious company. So if you are going to be flying food all across the world, well, now you're not eco-friendly, so you're canceling that out. So location of the farms is critical, and that's why they're not expanding in some other areas until they have organic farms in those areas where they can provide the effective food. So that's one thing. The other thing is plastic-free initiative. The company is going completely plastic-free. Purium is like 99% plastic-free. Platinum is on their way in the future. So that's definitely going to be great. Some of the products and the foods, superfoods, are going to be just a tiny bit different. You might see like, hey, this one has a different name, but it's the same thing. One thing might be like, hey, this one's called Biomedic, which is the gut one, and that's the one that heals the gut. But in the Platinum in the UK and the Europe, it's called Gut Harmony, as an example. Same foods, but just different names. So there's going to be subtle differences there. You guys could definitely go into maybe some of the differences a little bit later as well. But I do want to introduce someone that I introduced this to is Lorna. And before I met Lorna, I saw her online, and she was someone that I was really, really inspired by, because she shares the health and wellness that obviously we talk about, from organic to vegan living to lifestyle. And I could just see her as someone that is just fighting so hard to make the world a better place. And what I saw was an opportunity, not only for her to be able to take her health to the next level, but also to be able to share this with other people, to be able to give her some tools to be able to even make a bigger impact on other people's lives. And so yeah, I reached out to her, and she had a profound effect. So I definitely love to hear Lorna's story from her perspective, how these foods has impacted your life so far in Ireland, which is where you're from.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for all those lovely words. Yeah, so I mean, a short story for me was, like you were saying, Kevin, we're not always just born with it healthy. And it took me a while to build up some really, good lifestyle habits and choices. So a lot of my earlier, from about 20 up to 25, 26, I was going out drinking, I was eating whatever I wanted. So, I was doing massive damage to my body at such a young age. And when I was 25, I was diagnosed with PCOS. And I was like, what? How did this happen? But clearly, what you're eating, what you're doing to your body is going to affect your body. It's going to affect your gut, it's going to affect your hormones. So nobody told me this when I was diagnosed with my PCOS, that, that could have been prevented or even reversed by using the power of food, especially plants. So at the time when I was 25 was also the time that I decided to go vegan, just for ethical reasons. So I started incorporating a little bit more plants into my diet, and gradually, over a few months into years, I started to notice my hormones were coming back into balance. So I was like, whoa, the power of foods, the power of plants. And so, yeah, from then onwards, I was just totally blown away by what you can actually do with good nutrition. So I decided to study more. I got my certificate into holistic nutrition, and that just blew me away, what we actually don't know about food and how to eat a balanced diet to support our body. And so, I was eating really well. I wasn't really focused on organic that time. I wasn't really aware of glyphosate and how it kind of damages their gut. I was healing my gut, but I didn't remove all of those toxins that were building up over the years of non-organic drinking, binge eating, and everything. So when I met Kevin, he introduced me to superfoods, and this was like, whoa moment when I heard what all of these do. I'm big into nutrition, but I wasn't really thinking of, okay, this food has the full living enzymes rather than just organic. So I decided to give it a go for myself. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm jumping straight in. Did the 10-day transformation, and oh my God, I was blown away. On day 7, I just had this massive moment. Everyone calls it the shift, but I just felt so light. I felt clean. My mind was clear. My energy was just amazing. My mood was up. It just lifted everything. And from that moment on, I was just like, wow, these foods are really something else. And that was 3+ months ago. So I've been using these foods every day religiously. They've become part of my diet. I will not ever live without them again, because it's easy for me as well. Like a lot of people's, what I'm talking to with clients and stuff, a lot of the big issues they have is time. So, it's like you were saying, Kevin, about the juice, and you don't have all these hours in the day to juice and prepare and chop and everything. Whereas these foods, they're so convenient, and they have all the nutritional value you need. They support your hormones, they support all your body systems. So why not do that? All you have to do is add water. So I've been doing that religiously. I have 2 superfood meals a day, and then I have 1 whole meal in the evening with some, fruit and veggies in between. but that has just made my life so much easier. My health is improving and my gut is healing massively as well, because that was a big issue for me. My gut obviously had a lot of repairing to do, and I wasn't getting the full effects, like you were saying, Kevin. I was eating healthy, but I wasn't actually absorbing all my nutrients. Whereas now I can feel the effects of actually putting this high vibrational food into my body, and I'm reaping the rewards. So it has been an absolute joy to have this in my life, and I'm just going to continue forevermore. And I tell everyone, I'm shouting it from the rooftops. So yeah, it's been amazing.
That's so incredible, and I'm so proud of you and all the people that you've already helped and impacted, just by sharing this with people, which is just so amazing. And that's really, the special thing that we can really do, is that how we can impact other people's lives in a way that we just don't even know. We sometimes don't even know the power that we have. And speaking of powerful, I really want to introduce Chloe, who I'm super inspired by as well. Ever since she came in on day one, I was just like, oh my gosh, this girl's going to the top and she's going to help so many people's lives. And I'm just so inspired. So Chloe, please share your story with us.
Hi everyone, my name's Chloe and I'm from London. I've been on my healing journey for around 8 years. Similar to Lorna, I had a typical young person living in the UK, living for the weekend, drinking, partying, going out religiously, just kind of no respect for my body or at all, just, partying, and that was it. That was life. And it got to the point where I realized that something had to change. The physical issues that I was dealing with were just kind of piling up and piling up. I'd suffered with acne from a young age, which just never got better. I went on medication for it. I was on the pill for many years, but it just never improved. It was just constantly there. I also suffered from PCOS. I had terrible bloating, eczema, asthma, all of these inflammatory issues. I was fatigued. Like, it got so bad to the point where I'd go to work and fall asleep at my desk. It was serious. And I got to the age 24 and I was fed up of going to the doctors, fed up of just being told that I needed to take a prescription and just take these pills for the rest of my life. I just got fed up. So something within me just said, why don't you just try going plant-based? It was literally just kind of this light bulb in my head. And I just thought, why don't I just try something different? Because I had some friends who were vegetarian and they seemed really healthy and kind of vibrant. So I just kind of took the initiative to try. And for me, that had such profound effects on my health. And this was 8 years ago, just from eliminating certain acidic and inflammatory foods from my life. My energy levels soared, my skin improved, I lost weight, I lost a lot of inflammation in my body. And this really kind of sparked my physical journey and also my spiritual journey and everything, this health journey. So since then, I've just been constantly wanting to be this sponge for information and just improve my health. And since then it's been kind of step by step by step. So much so that I did, like Lorna, I studied holistic health and I got a certificate in alternative medicine, studied all the things, Ayurvedic studies when I did my yoga teacher training. All of these incredible alternative medicine practices made me more and more strong in my belief of the power of nature as a healer. So all of these things were building up inside of me and my health was improving, my energy was improving. I got to a pretty good physical state where I would say, most of my physical issues were under control. But what I realized about a lot of the practices that I were using was that they were just treating illnesses. They weren't actually preventing them. So I still felt like there was a missing link. Because this time last year, I would say that I was in pretty good physical shape. My endurance was good. I was working out a lot, teaching yoga, but my mental health was at an all-time low. And as I now know that mental health is directly linked to gut health, which I didn't know at the time. I had no idea. I just thought there was something like insanely wrong with me. I just thought I was this weird person that was just clouded with anxiety. And it was so bad to the point that I would have to cancel my yoga clients last minute without any notice, and then just like stay in bed all day. So it was really bad. And also my fatigue was kind of up and down. Some days I'd have loads of energy, and then some days I'd have no energy, and I couldn't find the reason why. There was kind of no correlation. Nothing was stable and nothing was consistent. So even though I was eating a predominantly alkaline diet and I was using alternative medicines, I'd stopped taking all prescription and pharmaceutical drugs 3 years prior, I was still not in my optimal state of health. And it was at this time that I met my beautiful friend Alice, and she introduced me to Platinum Superfoods, which is now what I have been taking, like Lorna, every single day religiously for 9 months. And I just feel better and better as time goes on. And I just remember her showing me the label of the green juice, and it's called in the UK Hippocrates Power, which I love because Hippocrates is like the grandfather of medicine. It's called Hippocrates Power. She showed me the label, and I was just completely shocked because I had never seen a food label which had only organic ingredients. Like there was no ingredient on there that I had to question or look up, nothing. It was just like 15 different organic greens, ancient grains, grasses, microalgae. And I was like, oh, I've been searching for a green juice like this all my life. So that was what interested me. It took me a while to make that investment into myself, into my health, because obviously my mental health was not in a good place. So it took me a while to sit with it. And then eventually I said yes. I dived straight into the 10-day transformation, which is what we have in the UK, which is incredible, especially for someone who struggles with mental health and also has a history of addictions, because you get this big package of superfoods and it comes with this amazing guide which tells you exactly what time and when, you know, what you're consuming, what time, when to take it, what all the nutrients are in the products. And it's every single 2 hours you're nourishing your body with this food. So it's very protecting, nourishing, it's easy. You don't ever feel like you need to reach for a snack because you're constantly just putting these superfoods into your body. And for me, it was in 4 days that I felt a difference. 4 days. I literally woke up and felt like I had woken up in a new body, because all of these self-limiting thoughts and that voice in my head that was telling me that I wasn't good enough or I couldn't do it had just dissolved. So it was like my mind and my body had just been washed clean, and it's like waking up for the first time. And that is when it really clicked to me, like this is the connection between the gut and the brain, because this was the first time that I truly healed my gut. And that's the importance of these foods. And with the 10-day transformation with Platinum, it's incredible because you get the crack cell chlorella, the organic crack cell chlorella, which actually binds to heavy metals and toxins in the body and gently removes them. And it also has Black Walnut Plus, which is a parasite cleanse. So you're removing all of these things which are causing your gut to be inflamed. So within a few days, all of these superfoods combined really have the power to make you feel incredible. And I mean, I could write an essay on all of the benefits that I felt from the 10 days and I'm still feeling today, but my joints didn't hurt anymore from working out. My endurance improved, my brain fog lifted, I was able to focus on things more, I felt joyful, I didn't feel anxious, I feel confident to talk like this on a call, which would be the most terrifying thing in the world for me. This time last year, my appetite was under control. My addictions changed. I'm now addicted to green juice. Who would have thought that? But yeah, it's endless. So I'm forever grateful for this. So that's my story. Kevin, if you want to ask any more about the 10-day, please do.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love your story. I feel like I even said in the comments, like our stories are so similar in so many ways, for the transition for sure. And yeah, so let's tell, maybe we can hear from Lorna a little bit. What are some things that maybe you experienced on the 10-day transformation? What are some things that you like about it? And maybe you can maybe break down, like, what does a day look like for you on doing this 10-day?
Yeah, so I mean, the first 3 days were a little bit harder for me because obviously, your body's getting used to. I was drinking caffeine before it, I was having some sugary treats. So I think the first 3 days were a little bit hard. But after that, my body just adapted really, really fast. And I felt like I wasn't thinking about food. I wasn't craving food because I was getting all the nourishment from the different superfoods. So like day one, as Chloe said, you get the guide there, you're spacing your meals out. So every 2 hours you're going to be having some form of superfood, and you're kind of ready for it within the 2 hours. But at the same time, when you have it, you just feel completely nourished. And the great thing about it then, it's versatile. So if you do feel a little bit hungry, you can have a little fruit snack or a little veggie snack at some point of the day. So it's really easy. As I said, day 7 was the day for me that I had that shift experience. I felt like my mood was up, my energy was up. I just wanted to like talk to everyone, and I was just bouncing on clouds going around. So it was really amazing, but it's so easy to follow. Like, it was so convenient. I had so much time in my day. I didn't even know what to do with myself because I wasn't cutting and preparing foods. And I found that it was really actually easy for me to work with. That was something I was worried about. I was like, oh, I'm going to be eating a lot less food. Am I going to be able to focus? Am I going to be able to have energy to do the things I needed to do? And I did. I really did, because, while you're giving your digestive system a rest, you're also nourishing your cells. So everything was pretty simple for me, apart from obviously the first 3 days, which it's totally worth it, totally worth it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then for Chloe, I want to ask, maybe, is there anything that else maybe you want to add on to that, like that similar question that I asked? And what kind of frequently asked questions do you typically have? Because I know that often happens, is like there's like all these like certain questions that maybe pop up that maybe that people are always asking.
Yeah, amazing. I'll just add on to what Lorna said just quickly, because for me it was amazing, because like not having to prepare food, just having everything there ready, it's so convenient. And as you know, when you do follow a plant-based diet and when you are trying to heal yourself through food, it can be very difficult to actually buy all of the different fruits and vegetables and ancient grains and algae that you need, right? There's so much. But with Platinum and Purium also, it puts it all into one place. And that's why the 10-day transformation is so incredible, because it provides you with literally the 360 degrees of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that your body needs to thrive. So for me, it was just like, oh, and I've done fasting and all kinds of different diets and things like that, and this is just the easiest. It's the most gentle and the easiest to follow and stick to, and then continue as a lifestyle. As Lorna said, I'm the same. I have 2 juices a day, like as my meals, and then just a nice healthy organic meal in the evening. It just makes it so convenient, and everything's there. And I think that is one of the frequently asked questions, is like, can you eat during this? And I think that's a great question, because it's very flexible. This is also what I love about the 10-day transformation, because it's like you can eat intuitively, but you also, in the guide, you get the list of foods that you can eat. So everything's there. It even comes with a shopping list. And it gives you 2 options. So you can either do it where you don't have any meals a day and you just have the Platinum juices 3 times a day and you just snack on organic fruits and vegetables, or you can do it where it replaces 2 meals and then you eat 1 meal. It just completely depends on your lifestyle, your appetite, how busy you are, how active you are. So this really can work around you, which was another reason why I loved it, because it's not, it's not just this rigid, it's not a diet at all, it's a lifestyle. So it fits in to your lifestyle. And then I think another frequently asked question is like, what comes with the 10-day transformation, which I think is important as well. So I can kind of talk through it with what you, in the order of what you take throughout the day. So when you wake up, you have your cracked cell chlorella, which was what I mentioned earlier, which helps remove the heavy metals, but it's also nature's multivitamin. Then you have your MAPS, which is the master amino pattern, which is the purest form of plant-based protein on the planet. It absorbs into your body within 23 minutes. So it's what gives you that energy. For me, this taking the master amino pattern makes me feel so satisfied as well. So it helps kind of keep your appetite down, keep you satisfied, helps tighten up your skin, so many good things. And then 2 hours later, you have your Hippocrates shake, which is your green juice, which has the equivalent of 6 microgreen organic salads in one serving. This is like the powerhouse. So you have that. And then in that, you have ionic elements, which is like an odorless liquid. And this is incredible trace minerals from the ocean. So think of your like magnesium, iron, copper, all of the things that we should be getting from our drinking water, but it's missing because it's so filtered and there's so many chemicals. So this goes into the green juice. You've got all of your minerals and all of your greens and grains in one go. So it's super satisfying. And then you have the black walnut, which is your parasite cleanse, which is a blend of really gentle Ayurvedic herbs. So you have those with the green juice as well. And then something that's not included in the 10-day, but we always add on for the 10-day is the gut harmony or the biomedic, as Kevin mentioned earlier. And this helps to gently remove glyphosate from the system, which is the toxic herbicide. It also helps to gently repair the villi in the gut, which can help the absorption of the food. So all of these foods are working together. And then in the evening, my favorite, you have the apothecary, which is the organic tart cherry concentrate, just one ingredient, which is awesome. Literally one ingredient, and it's a natural source of melatonin. So you have it like 30 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep. Makes you feel so relaxed, puts you into a nice deep sleep. It's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and really high dose of vitamin C. Really helps with things like eczema and skin inflammation because it goes to work when you're sleeping. So yeah, that's everything in the 10-day. And some of these things actually last you longer than the 10 days as well, so that you're able to continue on like with some cherry juice and with some green juice, they are ionic elements, they all last a little bit longer. So you're not left completely stranded after the 10 days.
Thank you so much, Chloe, for sharing. That was absolutely amazing. And I really appreciate all of you guys and everyone that had stopped by to listen. Anyone that sounds like, man, this is something I got to try. I need to get on this. Whoever invited you to this in Europe has a $50 euros off for anything that you purchase to get started. And then in the US, we have up to $110 off to start off with a special gift card that you can get from the person that invited you. And also, I just want to leave one last thing is anyone that's starting has incredible support from coaches like you, both myself, anyone, we're here to help. You know, this is a mission-based company that we're on a mission to really heal the world and make the world a better place. And the reality is we can't do it alone, and we do need more people. So if this doesn't resonate with something that you want to do right now, but you know someone, definitely share this with them and reach out to them, because we are looking for people that are on that same kind of mission as well. So I want to leave you guys with that, and thank you so much. And I will be chatting with you guys soon, and especially next week, Wellness Wednesday, same time, and take care.
Welcome, love.